Bob, Evangelism Explosion has every leader take master planning training. Mm-hmm. So each one of them has developed a master planning arrow or a strategic planning arrow. The question is, how do EE leaders ensure that they implement that arrow long term? Or what are some of the typical problems that leaders have faced in implementing their arrow?
Well, first of all, I'm happy they use it. But if you see it as a once-a-year thing at planning time, that's not a good way to see it. You want to see it as almost a daily guide or a weekly, monthly guide that it serves as something you keep referencing, and it should be seen as in pencil or computer rather than indelible ink. It's something that you reach that priority, put that as a milestone. What's the next priority? And it just keeps evolving. It's a evolving tool rather than we're going to get that's done. We'll talk about it next year. So see it as a working tool rather than a once-a-year tool.
When you created that strategic arrow, was it your idea that it would help a leader gain clarity for his own dream, or did you see it as a tool to help a leader bring along his team to a clear understanding of the dream?
I saw it as a team arrow. But then later I began to see that it could work for a personal arrow as well. But, and as a matter of fact, it'd probably be just as good to use it as a personal one first to get clarity in terms of what you're trying to do in life is to try to figure out what direction am I headed, and then find an organization that's headed in that same direction. And so when there's alignment between where I'm going and where it's going, it's easy. But if where it's going and where I'm going are this kind of way, it's like that gets frustrating. But if you can be very clear on what you want to do, and a quick version of it would be, if I could only accomplish 3 things in life sometime before I die personally, what 3 things would I accomplish? And then are those 3 things in alignment with what EE is doing? And therefore my team can fill out the strategic planning arrow and move in that direction, which is in clear sync with what I want to do in life. So that when there's alignment between what you want to do and what the organization wants to do or team wants to do, that's where you can persevere through almost anything. You can stay with it for 20, 30 years like a lot of people like yourself have. That alignment is really strong, really important.
Next question regarding motivation. How does a leader develop people skills in order to motivate his team in team building? And then attached to that, when a leader feels that he's reaching a time where he's plateauing, how does he motivate himself? So this area of motivation.
Basically, motivation comes in 2 dimensions from my perspective. One is ahead and one is behind. Ahead is, what is my dream? What difference do I hope to make sometime before I die? And it isn't a measurable dimension. It is today the campus, tomorrow the world. It is God's mighty army. It is come help change the world. It is not a measurable, it's not like a goal or a problem or an opportunity. It's like a slogan or a dream. That is sort of endlessly motivating to you, and it should be to your team, for team alignment between what they're trying to do in life and what the team is trying to do. Another motivation is that nothing motivates like results. If you are going this way but you never see any results in that direction, you get real discouraged. By the way, encouragement is bringing hope for the future, being encouraged because there's hope for the future. Anytime you bring more hope for the future, you're encouraged to you and your team. Anytime you're less hope than you had last week or last month, your team gets discouraged. So what you're trying to do is look ahead for the dream of the difference we're hoping to make before we die or part as friends, and then look back to see how far we've come. By the way, let me show you something. Whenever your team gets discouraged or sort of exhausted, see it as a climb up a mountain like this. And the top of the mountain is, say, 40,000 feet up there, or some number of feet. I'm not a mountain climber, so I don't know, 40,000 maybe. And your team has come up here 1,000 feet. and they've climbed this far and they're exhausted, and they just, if you keep telling them, oh, look at the head of the mountain, look at the top of the mountain, we can get there. No, don't do that, because it'll just exhaust them even further. If you can just take a rest right here and look back at how far you've come, it's like, hey, we've come a lot. We're 1,000. Look at this view. We're 1,000 feet up. This is amazing. I think we can make it at least to here. And whenever your team is exhausted, don't look forward. Look backward and see the results they've seen. After a rest, they'll want to move forward.
Last question. The Lord has used you powerfully to help leaders focus, to bring clarity to their vision. If you were able to sit down with an EE leader in Africa or Asia or Eurasia and say, here is something to remember that is going to keep you persevering, keep you motivated, keep you focused, what is that one thing that you would share with them just to help them through the rest of their life?
Okay? That to me is fairly easy. You are here. Other people are here. There's going to come a day where they either go to heaven or they go to hell. In some situations, God uses you to help determine which direction they head. When you realize what heaven is really like and what hell is really like, it's like no one has to come around and say, oh, time to get up, time to get going, time to motivate. You know, this is the motivation you need to keep going for the rest of your life. I watched the Hubble, the craft about Hubble spacecraft the other day. They say that the world is 12.7 billion years old. There are galaxies beyond galaxies beyond galaxies that we haven't even begun to see. The Hubble, of course, was a 25-foot telescope or something like that was out beyond our stuff so you could see forever into space. And that some of those stars are moving out at that rate. You know, it's like an amazing rate. Well, when you look at that and you say 12.7 billion years, what kind of a God creates something like that? What kind of a God can speak that kind of time and space into existence? What kind of a God goes for eternity where 12.7 billion years is just getting started? That isn't eternity. That's sort of like a blip in time to eternity. And where we're going to spend heaven is with a Father that has the ability to create universes and galaxies by speaking them that last for 12.7 billion years, moving at the rate of thousands of miles a minute, going on for what seems like forever. That kind of a Father, it's like when I get to heaven, to just see him with eyes. Today we couldn't even look at him. I don't believe it. I think we just fall on our face, not even want to look at that being called God the Father. But when we get there, I think we'll have heavenly eyes where we can actually see him and worship him. Worship that kind of a Father. And hear him say to us, for all of our struggles and our trials and what we've put up with and worked our way through and discouraging times where we've kept going, say, Tom, well done. Good and faithful servant. I say, that's about all the motivation we need. But to realize that people have 12.7 billion years to be in hell without God and be with not a single friend, not one. That all used to be their friends are screaming at them, why didn't you tell me? In a lake of eternal torment for billions of years. The decision is made right here by asking a person, if you died tonight, I say, how much more motivation do you need? Thank you for the part you play and that EE plays in making so many people, giving them that option. It's like, I think, without question, you're one of the most significant ministries in the entire universe, the entire nation, entire world, I mean to say. And I say just Godspeed as you continue to develop it.